Well, good afternoon. Steve Prather here. Welcome to Silver Wing Hunting. Hey, as I have been telling you in some of the other videos, I am in the process of, call it crazy, of building my own hunting preserve. So I'm sitting on my tractor. I'm up at my property. A little bit of background is we now have, my wife and I, our family and I now have roughly about 72, 73 acres. It's mostly wooded, but there is a couple of fields in it, and I actually share a field with a neighbor property owner there, and I'm working on getting some other fields cleared. And today I'm going to show you the fields the way they are today, a little bit of background on that, and then explain what I'm going to be doing. And I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of tractor work with me riding the tractor and you watch video and you watch me ride the tractor. This field, when it is completed, will be about 5 acres on that. If you look here, this all looks like woods, but it's not. It's overgrowth because the trees aren't very mature, as you can see. And this is where the field is basically was a field, hasn't been touched, and the trees and the forest has encroached on it, making the field much smaller. But when my neighbor gets done with this, and he's using a mulcher to take it down, he's going to raise the canopy as well up around the edges. We should have about 5 acres here. So let me just jump off and let's take a little bit of walk. So here's what we're doing. My daughter Sarah was home from school. She's headed back and to school actually today, but she helped me. So basically, where you see this line of trees and woods right there, it was like that all the way in. But again, it wasn't mature forest like this on the edge. So it used to be a field. So we come in as Shane, my neighbor, who does this, one of the things he does for a living is come in, and he is just basically go from the top of one of these trees and just hits it with a mulcher and just takes it right down to the ground. And he's leaving the stumps, cut just maybe a couple inches at the most out of the ground on there. These trees here, I was just playing with my tractor because I'm still learning all this stuff. But I was playing with my tractor and I was just pushing over trees and kicking them up by the roots. And then I pulled them all here and collected them here. And Shane can mulch those from here. If you look down at the ground here, you can see the ground like it's been plowed. Actually, I bought a spring plow. I'm still learning what all the equipment and everything is too, but I bought a spring plow. And the purpose of the spring plow is as it will pull up roots and rocks, as you see there. And then but if it gets into a heavy root or something that that would stop the tractor or tear up the tines on the implement or whatever, it's got a heavy spring and it pulls back and then it goes over the rock, the root, the whatever, and stump, and then it springs back in place. Pretty nifty thing there. Anyway, Shane mulched it. It leaves a larger, not a pretty mulch, but a larger rough mulch. I've come in with the spring plow, or Sarah actually did most of the work, came in and has just been raking this. And you'll see down there, it may not be kind of hard to see, but there's just little lines of piles of mulch down there. So we're pulling it into a pile of mulch, and then we're taking it and pushing it into a pile, and we are going to, if you look way down there, some piles, then what we're going to do is we are going to throw that in a trailer or a dump truck and haul that off to someplace, probably at the end of the field down here. As we pull up the roots, the rocks, and jump over the stumps, and those kind of things. Once we get all this done, piled up and out somewhere, I'll go over this again a few more times probably with the spring plow, and then eventually we'll go over it with a landscape rake or a rock rake, get it nice and clean, and then we'll get that spring plow back out and tear up the dirt a little bit more. And I bought a 8-foot harrow cutter, or cutting harrow, which will really tear up the ground and plow up the ground. And this will be strips, as far as you can see to the end down there, will be mixed, and I'll show you this in a second, will be mixed of natural habitat for, just depends, kind of I'm gonna layer it for quail / pheasant, even though pheasant don't live wild down here, for pheasant and for turkey and quail, and then deer as well. And I'll alternate of different types of crop. Good cover crop for the quail and turkey, if you will, and then lower crops like radishes and turnips or whatever the hell it is. I'm still learning that too, what you plant for the deer. there. And then eventually Shane will have this all taken out, and this will be one big field, and I'll walk you down here and show. But anyway, to the point on that is this. So in my hunting preserve, as the way I've been at hunting preserves, you basically have crops to mimic or imitate the natural habitat of the wildlife. In this case, I'm going to be putting out quail and pheasant primarily. There's a wild turkey here and deer, of course. I don't plan on hunting deer. I have some friends who are going to do that as part of this, and then but I want to hunt some turkey, or try to hunt some turkey. And then there'll be rows of crop, if you will, and then natural grass where I did not bush hog. You see where I bush hogged and actually did the weed killer to knock these down. So this will be crops of some kind. And I'll get it straightened out once all the trees are gone. But then in here is where we'll plant the birds. And they'll have the ability to be either in the natural habitat, or they'll hide in the long grass like this right here, and we'll hunt them from there, out of there. So I'm just gonna walk around and show you what I've done here on that. So it'll be rows of crops. When these trees and all are gone, then I'll be able to clean it up, make it a little bit wider. So like crops, natural grass, crops, natural grass, natural grass over here. And if you'll see, and it goes all the way down to the end of the field. Now it's raining now, I'm getting a good bit of rain over here, which is good. We'll take it and keeps the dust down. See? And then this will probably wind up being a little bit wider. Crops, natural grass here, and then crops on the edge. It'll probably take me a couple years or seasons to figure out which crops go best where, but I'll do the millet and the cane top, milo, and like I said, the rashes and stuff. I'm just going to turn around and show here. This gives you a good view of, if you come around here, then, oh, and by the way, leaving all the cedar trees in the field. All the pines will be gone, of course, when Shane cleans all that up. All the cedar fields are being left in the field, and I'm cutting them up. So it'll be a little bit of a blocker to make it more challenging for shooting the birds, but the birds can actually snuggle in there and hide and have to go kick them out from under the trees, but just be more of a challenge in this sporting course. So see this here, the tractor is directly over there. So all these trees will be gone all the way to these larger mature trees. And we'll take the canopy up on those. So this would be a 5-acre field. I've got it mapped out on Onyx Maps, Onyx Hunt. Yeah, Onyx Hunt Maps. And that's a burn pile right there. We're gonna get rid of that because you get a bird in that, you'll never get them out of there with a dog or not. So again, all these will be gone. This will all be a field. But anyway, that's the concept. That's what I'm trying to put together. What I want to do is I want to, I'll practice and get this figured out and get the right kind of crops in here. And eventually, there are wild quail in the area. So I'll have wild quail and wild turkey, which would be good. And then deer hunters for the folks that are deer hunting here. And then what I'll do in the hunting season is I will actually, put pheasant. I can buy pheasant and put pheasant and quail out to hunt on a daily basis. So anyway, that's the plan. I'll try to remember to bring the camera, or have the camera, the phone, and video from time to time to show you the progress and what's happening, how it's going. And I don't know, actually somebody might be able to learn some lessons, from what I'm doing out here, and be able to do it again for yourself. So until the next time, see you soon.